Greetings, ladies and gents, and welcome to this narration of the web series The Nature of Predators. If you are new to the series, there is a playlist listed in the description. And as always, I hope that you enjoy. Chapter 54. Memory Transcription. Subject, UN Secretary-General Elias Mayer. Date, Standardized Human Time, October 18th, 2136. After bidding farewell to the Arxel commander, I made my way to the conference hall. This hotel was once a primary site for technological conventions, expensive weddings, and even celebrity events. Now, while the catering and decor was missing, it was still a lavish enough venue to feel the call to the Zarulians. My headquarters on Earth probably didn't exist anymore. The government needed a temporary base of operations. Secretary Camper extended invitations to every world leader with the option to attend virtually. Many would be unable to procure space transportation, while others wouldn't want to leave during a crisis. "Sir, the Zarulian ambassador is waiting on the secure channel," Campus offered. I straightened my posture. "Good. Patch him through." The adorable face that appeared on screen was enough to soften my demeanor. Charleston's brown fur looked fluffy as a cloud, and reminded just as shaggy around the cub-like ears. The side-facing eyes made him look like an anxious teddy bear. I suspected that visage would fill most humans with the urge to scoop them up and hug them. The Zarulian narrowed his eyes. I stifled a giggle at how stern he was trying to look. The expression was almost comical. That would be an inappropriate reaction, given how they felt about the Arxel's arrival. It would be preferable to keep these cute aliens as allies. "This is Secretary General Mayer. Thank you for taking our call, and for your timely assistance," I offered. "I'm so sorry that what happened to Earth." Charleston pawed at his nose, the forlorn twinkle in his eyes. "But my colleagues and I have some concerns. I believe that you didn't invite the Arxel, but you haven't tried to push them away. The consequence of aggravating the Greys would be severe, and inadvisable at our current readiness. Candidly, we need help. There isn't exactly an outpouring of aid from the galactic community." The Zarulian began licking his paw, which was a species when did when thinking. The absent-minded grooming was distracting. I could stop my lips from curving up, despite knowing that it was a hostile gesture to their brains. The cuteness was melting away even my practiced composure. "Is there something amusing about not having aid for your planet, Mr. Mayer?" Charleston yipped. I shook my head quickly. "No, not at all, Ambassador. My apologies." "Right. I've talked the Zarulian commanders into writing a more favorable report. We're going to do our best to neutralize the headlines, but I'd still expect incendiary accusations." "I understand. And, thank you for trusting us." It wouldn't surprise me if certain media outlets ran with the Predators scheming together narrative. Having the Arxel in our court was a fuel Federation factions needed to turn on us. But I didn't care. Humanity was done crawling through the mud to appease paranoid bigots. Species were either for us or against us, and they needed to decide which side pronto. In the long run, our Zarulian neighbors looked to be decent friends. I couldn't imagine their fleet's thought process when the Arxel arrived. It would be understandable if they left at the sight of Greys and humans fighting side by side. The fact that the quadruped stayed meant that it was worth justifying our position. "It's the least I could do," Charleston purred. "We want to help with the rescue efforts. We have thousands of hospital ships in the system you call Proxima Centauri. That's where I am now. Our military might be unimpressive, but our doctors are second to none." "Medical assistance would be appreciated, Ambassador. Please, send them at your earliest convenience." My voice took on a pleading lilt, contemplating Earth's desperation. "If there's any information you need about human biology, the Venel data has given us a baseline. But the issue is sending unarmed civilians into an Arxel occupation. I want to help, but how do I authorize that order?" "You want me to get rid of the Greys first?" "Yes, for our safety. Charleston, with respect, they haven't attacked a single one of your ships so far." "I'm sure that the monsters who snack on our cubs have benevolent intentions towards the Zarulian race. I should invite them over for dinner." "That's not what I meant. Human lives are—"
"What about our lives? These are good, selfless people."
With an emergency service down in the metropolitan areas, there was nobody to respond to medical calls. Anyone who suffered a heart attack or sustained serious injuries was on their own. I would prefer Zarulian medics tending to our people rather than famished Arxor. That said, Isif's forces were the only protection Earth had right now. We needed both of their offerings. As I said, I'm unwilling to aggravate the Arxor now, I replied, but I am confident this commander will not attack your doctors.
Chalson bared his tiny teeth. You can't be confident enough. The Arxor are not trustworthy. They're sapient-eating fiends.
I know. But there are good people on Earth that need your help, and I believe the Greys will stand down if asked. Please, trust my judgment. This one time.
Oh, damn it, human. I'll send my medical ships, but if anything happens to them, this is the last Cerulean aid you're getting. They're not expendable.
I inwardly cursed this gamble. Thank you. Camper, please contact the Chief Hunter. Let him know the inbound fleet are rescue workers and are not to be harmed. Secretary of Alien Affairs departed with haste. The Cerulean scientist began pacing in a nervous daze, as he was sent his transmission to his men. Humanity would remember the quadruped's heroism for generations. I didn't know how we could thank them enough. A close-knit alliance might form out of this tragedy. What am I going to do about the other friendly diplomats? They showed just how much they care for predators' lives. A bipedal sapien popped up in front of the camera, as though my thoughts summoned him. His coarse pelt was a tone of red fox, and his face with some white markings. I racked my brain, identifying him as a yodel. It was all I could do not to launch into a tirade against his inaction. What was Ambassador Laulo doing with Chalson?
I am sorry about Earth, too, the marsupial barked. Humans have been the only ones that treated us as equals, rather than a charity case.
I narrowed my eyes and forced myself to maintain a level tone. The Ceruleans didn't mention we had company. What can I do for you?
I just want you to know that we do care about what happened to humanity. Stars, I feel stupid saying this out loud. I really wish we could have helped like Chalson.
Those words are easy to say, aren't they? Why didn't the yodel raise a call or? The Cerulean ambassador watched in silence, blinking his ears in discomfort. I urged myself to rein in my fury for his sake. This wasn't a discussion to have in front of our newest allies. Holding the bystanders accountable could alienate our neighbors.
Laulo averted his gaze. We don't have our own fleet yet to send you, so, I guess we're useless to you. We're the newest uplifts. Guess you think that we're worthless primitives to now, too.
I mulled over his explanation in silence. That did alter my perspective. If Yodel hadn't developed any military assets to mobilize, it didn't sound like the Federation had done anything more than dump technology in their lab, and expect them to figure it out. Perhaps the apologetic statement was worth something.
Anyhow, I scrounged up millions of volunteers to help you rebuild, the uplift grumbled. We have lots of untapped resources, and it's labor if you want it. We need external transport to get to Earth. I'm sorry if my offer is so underwhelming.
I raised my hands in reassurance. We would love any help you're willing to extend. Aid doesn't have to come in a military form, Lalo. Maybe we can teach you a thing or two about our engineering.
Really? You would do that?
Of course. We're still new to the Federation technology ourselves. The two of us can figure out their secrets together. The Yotel's expression was the image of relief, as he squeezed his eyes shut. I felt sorry for the poor guy, if he was expecting the rebuked for technological deficiencies. Perhaps this exchange was reason enough for me to move the goalposts. Anyone who offered assistance would be in my good graces, whether it was military or not. Some of our allies might have been too scared to fight, which could be fixed. They might have been too far away or didn't have the spare military resources. Chalson gave the uplifted a friendly nudge. You can ask us for help too. I knew I was right to bring you along. I apologize if I snapped at you, Lalo. It's been a difficult 48 hours, I muttered. Have you guys heard anything from the other human allied races? The Cerulean sighed. No, I'm afraid not. I pursed my lips. In no additional species expressed the slightest concern for our predicament. That lessened the possibility of extenuating circumstances. According to my sources, the Mazeks and the Sivkits hadn't been partial to us. Maybe the absent races had blamed us for killing their diplomats because of our predatory compulsions. Should I even bother reaching out to any of them? My throat felt dry. Well, I appreciate both of you. Please keep in touch if you have any concerns. Chalson waved a paw. Wait, Mayor, I know now might not be the right time, but there was an idea I'd like to mention at least. Go on.
The Xyrillians and the Yodel are both interested in a human exposure program, Lalo chimed in, like you did with the Venlil at first contact. Charleston pricked his ears. Obviously, some civilians are going to be sharply exposed to rescue efforts, but I still think it's important to foster understanding and discussion in a controlled environment. I nodded. We'd be amenable to that idea, though any human candidates will carry emotional baggage after this attack. I'll see what I can do to set that up. Excellent. Take care, Mayor, and let me know our hospital fleet's status regularly. The Xyrillian terminated the call, and I flopped down on the chair with exhaustion. Human participation in an exchange program shouldn't be an issue, given how cute our helpers were. A few friends in the galaxy was a silver lining. The future ahead of us was going to be rife with war and suffering. We needed to maintain some positive relations to stay sane. I fished out my holopad and contemplated the address I was live-streaming tonight. My original speech was mired with blame and bitterness focused on revenge. There was room for such sentiment, but that was also how the Orcs ended up with such a warped ideology. What humanity needed was hope. The first word spilled out of my fingers in a burst of inspiration. To the people of the planet of Earth, you who have been preyed upon by an unreasonable enemy, I know you are grieving the innocent blood that has been spilled this week. You feel hurt and anger for the loved ones taken away too soon. I share every scrap of your pain. But I want you to know is that humanity will endure, and that we are not alone. Not only do we have each other, but we have friends who stand with us. The Xyrillians and the Vendel fought with us, and gave us a sliver of optimism for a better life amongst the stars. It is time to unite with everyone who believes in our ideals, to stand as a single species with a single purpose. Together, we will go for the Federation's throat, relentless in the face of injustice. We will bring our enemies and our persecutors to their knees, if it takes a millennia to rectify this vendetta. Humanity calls for atonement, for our right to exist. When we are done, the galaxy shall know what a hunter is. My lips curled up with malice. The speech required some tweaking, but it carried a suitable degree of vengefulness. Governor Tava would be relieved that I tempered my prior message down a notch. If humanity could unify for the purpose of destruction, then the Federation would have a genuine reason to fear us. There would be a reckoning for Earth, and I didn't know that our organization would survive it. End of chapter.
I would quickly like to thank the T5 channel members and Patreons. Casper Arnholtz, Cam Maxwell, Barky, Lord Azrakal, It's Difficult to Pronounce, Dragzoon W.R.E, Holly's Sister, Arcadian. Thank you very much.